So Aaron, take it away with your demo.
Thank you. Hello everyone. I am Aaron Newstetter, as previously introduced. So we're gonna go through this demo real quick, show you guys what we've created and everything. So what you should be seeing right now is 3 cascading windows that show 3 different views. They're very similar. We have the farmer's view, the hauler's view, and the processor's view. And each of these will showcase how, and we'll be able to see how changes in each of these different windows cascade to each other, so the farmer can see what the, for example, so the farmer can see what the processor did live. So again, right here we have the processor. Up in the upper right, we have the big text here to help remind me, and then we have the hauler and the farmer. These are actually all sandboxed using Firefox's containers, which is a nice tool for testing stuff like this. So as far as the server is concerned, these are 3 completely different browsers on completely different computers, so they can't share cookies or anything like that. That starts to make things messy when you're trying to test multiple users on one computer. So going through the UI here on the farmer view, we have pretty standard from what you guys saw earlier from my mockups. We have our search bar and then a list of ASNs. Right now we only have 2 of them. Once Tomo gets up here and shows us how to use the chatbot, we'll see a 3rd one appear. Once that's created, in addition, we have we can make new ASNs. We can expand this and see more details about each of the different ASNs and scroll through them. And then if we see things that need to be changed, for example, if this first in route ASN arrives at the processor then can go in here, change it to arrived, scroll down, hit submit, and we can see not only did it change here in the processor, but it showed up right away for the farmer too. So if the farmer was sitting there all worried, waiting for the his shipment to come in, it pops up with him. He doesn't need to refresh or nothing like that. So we can go back and change it back. So for the rest of the demo. And with that, I believe I can pass it over to Tomo. He will show you an example of when the farmer is going to call the processor and schedule a load, and then they'll go ahead and set up their ASN, and we'll see that coming up here as well.
Thanks, Aaron. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, cool. Hi everyone. So my name is Tomohiro Arakawa. So we have created the chatbot. So I'm going to show how a farmer can schedule the shipment of the load by only using a chat feature, the texting. So in this demo, I'm going to use a browser, but in practice, you can use different kinds of texting, like messaging app, or even like SMS. Okay. So I'm going to start the demo here. So the farmer opens up whatever the messaging app, it'll ask, please choose. So today, let's say I'm interested in scheduling a shipment. So I'm going to click shipment here. Okay. And then I'm going to do schedule. Okay. So now it talked to the Trellis OATS server, and it got all the available processors that we have. So let's say I'm going to go with the most, the top one, the most popular one. So I'm going to type 0. So just you need to type the number here. Then all right, cool. So we have selected the processor 1. So now it's asking where we are pulling from. So let's say I'm going to do East Barn. And it's communicating with Trellis server. And now we have all the available different kinds of different haulers. So let's say we're going to use hauler number 1. Right? Estimated date of shipping. So let's say we want to ship the load on. So 2021, March 28th. Okay. Estimated number of heads. Let's say we are shipping 100. Great. So we got the confirmation message. So we have so we are sending to pig processor 1, pulling from East Barn, and we're going to use holder number 1. Estimated number of heads is 100. So does it look good? So I'm going to click yes, and we will see that the information will be registered to Trillis, and we will immediately see that information appear on the web app. Okay, so I'm gonna click yes, and boom. So we got the new ASN information that is registered. So yeah, so in this demo, we showed that we can create ASN by only using texting, feature to, and then that information is now registered to the server. Okay. So I will now hand it over to Aaron.
Thanks, Tomo. Yes, it worked. That was great. That was actually the slowest I'd seen it respond in all the times we tested it. I thought,
yeah,
oh,
taking
no.
a little bit of time. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
Right when it'll slow down is right when we're demoing. So thanks, Tomo. So I want to point out, like, we were able just to, because it was a couple lines of code from the Snatchbot service, to drop that into that web app. So it's just there in the side, because that makes it easier to demo. But it makes it a little less clear that, like, that Snatchbot thing's a completely separate service. You can run that and have people pay you to let you, make ASNs for them via text message or something like that. It's not really, doesn't have anything to do with the web app there, but that way we can see it show up live. So I want to make sure, like, we clarify that. And Servio, you can take it away to talk about the certifications team.
So I'm going to take, I think, Thomas ASN, and I'm going to include the certification. Let's say I'm going to use a PQA plus, and then we have, for this, we have a private database, and we have some IDs that are valid. So I'm going to use one that is valid. And then expiration date. Let's use this. And for the hauler, I'm going to use one that is not valid. Let's use this one. And I'm going to add one expiration date. And then we're going to submit this. As you can see, this is happening in real time. And this is the actual framework or compute engine in which it's happening right now. I'm going to show that in a minute. It takes some time to refresh. As I mentioned, the first one, the PQA Plus, was actually a certified. So we have that particular ID and the private database that I mentioned. And this is actually checking or attesting that that particular certificate or certification is actually valid, is trustworthy. And the other one, as you can see, is not valid. It's not trustworthy.
Yay. Thank you, Servio. You had a lot of moving parts there. That was great. I'm happy to see it working. I want to emphasize again for Servio's piece that even though we're watching it in the web app, the OSC is its own separate thing, right? You can just buy that for service from a service provider or something like that. It's not really related to the web app. It's the OSC is set up so that if you have a Trellis platform and you pointed the OSC service at it, it will validate those certifications as they come in. So, and Servio is such an overachiever. He's got metrics even, even on like how fast it ran. So Servio, great job on that. I know that was a ton of work from you. So, and before this conference, there was no serverless Agape cert. There was regular Enclave. And now after this hackathon, there is serverless Agape cert. So I'm really excited about that as well. And then the last team, the last guy here, I think that hasn't gotten acknowledged yet, Alex Layton. He worked a lot leading up to this and during this presentation to be the sharing and sync team. And so the only way you get to see his stuff though was on Aaron Newstedter's screen. You had those three different users showing you the hauler and the processor and the farmer's views. And so those three views kind of showed you that, yeah, I can be different users, I can be different things. And all these things are going on from all these other platforms, and it all just gets shared properly. The hauler sees only the ones, and this actually works. Like the hauler only sees the ones that he was permissioned to see in that platform. They're only shared if they were shared with that hauler. That's why Tomo had to pick, you know, hauler number 1 and processor number 1, or else you wouldn't see them in the 3 windows on Aaron's screen. And so they actually are 3 separate people, completely, you know, disconnected from each other, all interacting to fill out this ASN and track this shipping process.